Clear prop. Look around, nobody's walking into the...
You won't see that many drill rigs because it's kind of slowing down around here.
Look what they've done to my sacred ground. Sacred ground.
That looks like a site they're clearing off for a drill rig. You don't see... Oh, no, there's already got the tanks over there, so that's the whole site.
Sacred ground.
So after the drill, they put up tanks and collect fluid and whatnot. And they have pipelines that have to ship it off.
Sacrifice everything I know for a little piece of understanding.
Well, it's quite an impact, even once they're done drilling.
And I'm a liquid dead emotion. I got incredible devotion. It's slipping away like water in the earth.
It's a little farmhouse over here, and then he's kind of surrounded by all this drilling.
The organic farms in this area, this is the highest concentration of organic farms in the state of Colorado, in this valley. Who would be affected in this area? I think just about everybody.
For most of my adult life, I've lived in the West near BLM lands, and I've certainly enjoyed mostly hiking and camping and backpacking through BLM areas. And so my involvement with the BLM has been mostly recreational. I mean, I like those lands open and available for me to do what I like to do on them. So having them also available for industrial uses is a little hard for me. That's not really the highest and best use that I see for those public lands.
So in early December, we sent out a press release as well as a letter to all the affected towns and homeowners that explained that we were going to have potentially this lease sale in August.
The parcels that they've been talking about, of the 22, we're directly affected by, I think, 12 of them. Everything from our domestic water to our irrigation water, and right on the ranch itself and surrounding the ranch. So we have a very vested interest in being very active in this decision-making process. This all came on very suddenly. We didn't know about it until December, and it's pretty horrifying.
We got an incredible response from the communities. We got over 3,000 emails. We got 300 to 400 substantive letters with really good information to help us in our analysis. We were just inundated. So there's been a lot of response. I think most of it is fear. Most people are very, very afraid that if there's even one gas well, it's going to completely destroy all three communities. And with all the governmental regulations that are in place nowadays, that really shouldn't happen. We should be able to set up conditions of approval for any kind of activity whereby the effects to any of the resources around here would be mitigated.
The water source for all of the farms, for all of the orchards, for essentially all of the vineyards starts with the Paonia Reservoir. How is that at risk? People are human. We make mistakes. If any seismic activity occurs and causes subsidence or sliding of the hillside down into the reservoir, it will reduce the storage capacity, possibly damage the earthen dam, and either reduce substantially the water supply available or destroy it. Fracturing fluids use toxic chemicals. Even though 99% of it is alleged to be water, there are chemicals in there that are carcinogenic. Fracturing requires a huge amount of water. Where that comes from can be from drilling of wells, or trucked in.
What we look at is we look at the surface, we look at the impacts that might happen as a result of oil and gas leasing, and reveal that to the public in a public document called an environmental assessment. Essentially, when we wrote our resource management plan back in 1985, we made the decision that the parcels that were nominated for lease were leasable. And so we really have to have a really good rationale for not offering them for lease, since we made that decision back in 1985 to lease those lands.
Without water, we don't exist. Without water, none of these crops can grow. This valley exists because of the irrigation water that's been brought in, really, in its current form with the agriculture that's conducted here. I don't think I'll use the term screw. I don't think you screw with water. That's a huge risk.
You would give up anything. You would fight your entire life for food and water for your children. We can survive without gas. We can't survive without food and water. And if you don't have a sustainable agriculture and water system right here at home, then you need gas to get it to you. So if we destroy what we have right here, which is sustainable, we cannot do anything but use gas to get those resources to us.
We have something unique here, and I think having farmed in quite a few other areas, I think that what's unique about here is I can grow better tasting vegetables on this land here than I've grown any other place that I've farmed. Same varieties, just better flavors. And the fruit that comes out of this valley is, I mean, it's as good as it gets.
Drilling is just not a sustainable business, and agriculture is, especially organic agriculture. And this community is just thriving, and it's growing, and it's just at the very peak of the crest of the wave of this new food revolution that is just overtaking this country, about people being really concerned about where their food comes from.
This valley is much more valuable for what it has right now than for potential oil, gas, or coal reserves. We have a much better way of using this land in perpetuity than the short-term advantage of extraction. And it will trash what we're trying to set up here for the long term if they go through with the short-term extractions.
You know, we found this gem that is the North Fork. It's beautiful over here. The people are good. It's real food. And, you know, we found that. We started coming out and helping with the farms, and it's really inspired us to start growing our own food in Gunnison and start seeing that happen. So it's like a biological attachment. It's an inspirational attachment, and it's where we get our food from. Yeah.
We get our food from people. It's pretty unique.
Real people. It's out of this world.
I can bring in people from all over Colorado or all over the states, really, who are interested in participating in what I'm doing here for whatever length of time they're interested in being here, and they can learn how it works. And they may not go on to end up doing what I'm doing, but at least they'll have a different appreciation for how food is grown, where it comes from, the effort that goes into it, and they can bring that with them wherever they wind up and support a different type of agricultural economy in any of those places that they wind up. I think that there's a lot of value in that, in tourism and education and in production, and I think that's where I want to see this valley go. And oil and gas exploration is not a part of that. I mean, that would preclude me doing what I love to do here.
We're actually embarking on a new process. This is the first time that BLM has a 9-month process whereby we have 3 opportunities for public involvement.
Those of us with contacts with restaurants in Aspen or Telluride, or in my case in Boulder and Denver, we've certainly talked with the chefs and the individuals who buy our stuff and asked them to write their letters. So we do have lots of people that have heard about the potential leases, and I'm hoping have written letters. Most of us who are relatively new to that process don't understand the game and the rules very well, so we're trying to catch up as fast as we can, but it's not an easy game to figure out. How to submit comments, and what comments are helpful, and what comments will be listened to, and which ones are going into the circular file. I mean, all that we need to know before we get going on it, and it's not as easy a process as I would like it to be, and I'm not sure. Without having not gone through this whole process before, I don't know how to be listened to, and I don't know how the others who feel similarly to me. I think we're all worried we're going to be ignored.
Good communication is so for exhortation. Always lead me back.
Look at how many paths there are here.
And distance lay before me when your God began to scold me, and I'm called.
Baxter, can you tell me what you see out there?
Lots of elk, and behind it a big oil drilling place. And behind it the mountains.
It's just a nice grassy plain where lots of deer and elk could graze, but it was overgrown, so that means that probably the oil and gas stuff drove them away, which was pretty sad to think about.
Like, what are you still wondering about the whole thing?
What would happen about?
What'd you say?
What would happen to the North Pole?
Probably the same stuff that happened to the rifle.
How the North Pole would look, and how plants would live.
And animals. And us.
Help me if you can, I'm feeling down. Do appreciate you being around. From the ground. So please, help me.
It's not that we hate you, but sorry we live here. Please know that there are vital alternatives. Look, you can't go back once you frack up. Don't frack the fork. We live here. Don't frack the fork. Please don't frack the fork. We live here. Don't frack the fork. I see you put this in your pipe and smoked it. When you drill a hole, then the world chokes it, causing earthquakes and worse polluting, ruining water, air, and ecosystem. Frack, no! Don't try to frack and talk back. We don't need your fracking heart attack. You best invest in something healthy. Don't frack the poor to bloat the wealthy, 'cause true wealth is good food, family farm, clean water and fresh air. Raise the alarm. Humanity depends on these things to survive. Together we